stance, right trunk rotation technique. This is not my picture, not my page, but I love the technique they selected for that animal. So it's a left AFIR, right rotation technique. It's in your manual. We're going to show it to you. But that's a beautiful picture of a nice human, concave chest wall, right oppositions higher than left. I think this picture speaks for itself. That's bilateral. Both flares are up, shoulders are forward. This is very restricted bilaterally. Deep sulcus, overused neck, digastrics pull that air in for him. SCMs are his hip flexors. So when he wants to move, he pulls with his hip flexors. Because if he pulls with his hip flexors, his spine can go forward and his psoas can move his leg forward. So he's walking with his neck. He's ventilating with his neck. This is a 16-year-old basketball player and a volleyball athlete. You can see the flare. This is the bra strap, so you're looking at the left side versus the right side. Another picture of the left side. 16 years old. Can you only extrapolate another 20 years out and see what this is going to look like? Okay, you can already start to see the flares coming out. Really a great picture. This is an eccentric individual. Eccentric. Belly button's deep, eccentric. Accommodating glute weakness with all of this. This same person was just in here in our clinic not too long ago, and this is her standing. Recurvatum of the knees. She's a pronator. She's got a deep back, a flat back, a very flat back, a rounded shoulder more on the right than the left, and an ideal gluteless individual. Before you pick on her glutes, and before you put her on abdominal program, I would beg that you take the appendages off and make sure you work on her thorax. Make sense? I beg that you get her ribs moving, because the previous picture told you she will not have glutes. She will not have a hamstring. She will not have knee flexion. She will have knee hyperextension. Can you say, hi, my name is 16-year-old basketball, volleyball queen of quads? Queen of quads. I like my rectus femoris. I like my quad. I love my quads. You understand? That's a quad lady who can't move because she can't shift her thorax. And we've watched her grow up, haven't we, Jen? We've watched her grow. This is a picture that we got sent to us. Just watch her body. Look how loosey-goosey she is. ACL waiting to happen. Love my quads, love my hip flexors. Watch her, her ribs are up. Watch her blue shirt not move. Again, watch her blue shirt not move when she comes back. See? Rectus. All rectus. All hip flexors. She got some PRI orthotics. She was given some respiratory alternating function. And this is her today. It took 4 months, I guess, right? See how much more controlled she is? Look at her shirt now. Do you see the shifting going on in her rib cage? So she's got these orthotics on. She's doing some breathing work, and now look at her ribs. Look at her chest. That's rotation. Right arm, left arm with right leg, left arm with right arm with left leg. Should I do that again for you? See her shirt? Heel toe. No more recurvatum. Better hip control. 4 months of ventilatory work, and now she's pain-free. This is a patient of another faculty member who teaches this class. This is a teacher that I worked with in the past. She wishes she would have done something with her feet. You can see how nice she looks. Recurvatum, fallen in, pronation, deep lordosis, femoral IR, shoulders forward on the right side. She's constantly orienting her spine to the left with a body that's standing on the right. Do you see the layers of folds on the left side? She's extended on the left side. Very, very typical picture of what a human would look like. She has no glutes. Don't blame her butt. See, the message is, Chad, before you blame someone's rear for this, I'm back to over here, Linda. before you tell me she doesn't have a rear, I'd say, yeah, she doesn't. But I really don't think that's her problem. I don't think she could use her rear if you gave it to her. I don't think she's going to use her hamstrings until you give it to her. I don't think she knows how to breathe. And I think you'll have tests that'll tell you that she can. So anyway, that's a nice picture. There we go. About done here. Dorsal stabilizers become tight and static. That would be your back muscles, your lat. This is a guy who loves his lat, and he loves, to put things on his body. But he loves his lat. And you can see the lats are just limiting his ability to get his elbows in front of him and round out his back. So he can only get his arms about right here. He can't get them in front of him, because if he gets them in front of him, he has to start to what? Extend. The lat is an internal rotator of the arm. So if he's externally rotated, that lat is already pulling his spine which way? Forward. What other accompanying muscle is working at the same time and when he's in this position? Rick, you know it. Diaphragm. His diaphragm and his lat are in cahoots. He doesn't know how to reach. He doesn't know how to get a zone. His ribs can't come down. His spine is compacted. It won't elongate. See how flat it is? It's flat. It should be what in that position? It should be rounded. He's got neck pain. This is a little lady with an overdeveloped lat on her idiopathic curve. No glutes, high pelvis. Same picture. There's really no difference between that long-armed lady and that guy right there. They both had the same problems. Neither one of them can expand. Look at her little shoulder blade drop on the right side. Look at that arm. Okay, we kind of went over this weak abdominal wall, so I'm going to skip it. On page 52 in your appendix, you have a discussion about flat back syndrome. Why don't you go there, and we'll end it with this, and we'll take a break and have lunch, okay? Everybody go to page 52. You see that? On page 52, what you have is a picture of a person like the last two people who have an overextended lumbar thoracic back. And I probably should just say thoracic back. But where you see extension and extension and extension, we want flexion, flexion, and flexion. This program, you will be guided through this next day and a half, will be promoting the smile face, okay, and de-promoting the sad face. I'm just trying to help you. So we're going to do everything we can to increase extension in these two areas and flexion in these three areas. The flexion at T12, we need extension at T12. The flexion at T1, you need extension at T1. You cannot realize this by working on two of the S-bones, the sacrum and the sphenoid. The only way you're going to realize that, Stephanie, is with this S-bone, the sternum, where 7 of your ribs attach. And that sternum better be put in the right position, otherwise your ability to reach and flex and the ability to inhibit your diaphragm with your lat is going to be challenging at best. So this morning, as we conclude this morning, I think it's a good way to conclude by remembering in your appendix you have this page. If you get lost in what we're trying to do with ventilatory effect on your body, go to page 52. Look at that page. Ask yourself maybe 3 times, am I giving my patient the right thing to do? If I give my patient something that's going to promote extension at middle of that cervical spine, that flat, that extension, pull back, or extension in the mid-back with my lat, or extension with my paravertebrals, my quadratus lumborum and my lumbar spine. Ask yourself, do you really want to do that? And then tomorrow I'm going to ask you, do you really want to do that on one side like you are doing? Do you really want to do that? Would you rather not do this? Wipe off the word extension off your cortical brain and add a new word. What would be the new word? What do you think it is? Not extension, what would it be? Flexion. Let's put a new word out there called flexion. And in flexion, let's get you flexing with ribs that move forward and down as a pelvis is moving forward and up. And that flexion's got to occur at L3, at T8. Last question in the morning. Why is T8 flexion so huge? What is right there at T8? What level are we at with T8? Actually, it's the dome of the diaphragm is right there. God wants you to flex at the top of the dome of the diaphragm, right there. You need flexion. You need to roll around that dome. That's going to go down and up like a harmonica. It's going to go down and up like a trampoline. So before we have lunch, and as you fill your stomachs up with food, you are now capable of flexing better than you will be in an hour from now. Because an hour from now, you're going to have a fulcrum inside of you full of what? Food. That will not let you flex as well as when the stomach was what? Empty. So go fill. Have a good lunch. Thank you very much.